What to do when the person you're dating starts to pull away without losing yourself. We have all been there, and it is not something that is easy. We've seen it. You guys were texting every day. You started to feel hopeful, and then all of a sudden, silence. You guys had this really great rapport. I thought everything was fine. I thought we were doing really well. We had some nice dates, or we were texting all the time. Oh, or they are starting to have some weird energy, or suddenly, all of a sudden, they're so busy, and it's just such a busy season. And if you've ever felt like you were spiraling when someone pulls away, this one's for you. Because how you respond in that moment will either deepen your self-trust or it's going to fucking destroy it. And today, we are going to break down why someone pulling away hits so hard, the psychology behind protest behavior, and what to do instead of chasing, spiraling, or performing for closeness. And guys, I did a full podcast episode on this too, where I break down how protest behavior shows up and how to stay rooted in self-worth when someone's energy starts to shift. So I'll link it below if you guys want to see more after this, or you can watch all of the podcast episodes, The Sabrina Zohar Show, right here on YouTube. Okay. Let's go over why pulling away feels so goddamn threatening. Because again, we have all been there. And here's an example. Like you're dating someone and it's going great. And then they start to pull away. And suddenly your brain is scanning and screaming like, wait, what did I do wrong? So you're rereading all the text. You're overthinking every fucking detail. Maybe you even start double texting just to get their reassurance or even a fucking response. And I think for a lot of people, we've chalked this up to like, I'm crazy. There's something wrong with me. And it's like, no, you're a human. You're a human who is now seeing this as a threat, who is seeing this as a trigger, and who is learning how to work through it. So let's talk about that. So when we talk about the nervous system, it interprets distance as a threat. So it triggers the fight or flight response. When you have somebody that's coming consistently, you know, you have the dopamine, you have all those things, which we're going to get to. And then all of a sudden they pull away. What's happening is your brain is literally going through withdrawal and your nervous system is seeing this as, oh my God, there's a threat, because your nervous system put that they are safety. And we'll start having things that are called protest behaviors. And those are just attempts to reestablish connection. And that's usually through texting, through chasing. It's really the performative behavior. And what's going on in your brain, which is my favorite part to talk about, is there's something called the salience network, and that goes into overdrive. And the salience network is what's responsible for finding the familiar. So like, let's say you go outside right now and you're like, I want to buy a Tesla. I'm just throwing this out there. All of a sudden you're going to start being like, wow, there's a lot of Teslas on the road. I never realized that. And it's like, no, your salience network is now scanning to find what you're looking for. And so when that happens with somebody that starts to pull away, that's why we start obsessing over those small cues to try to find safety. And you're so enamored with, what can I do to just get them back? What can I do for them to choose me? What can I do for them to see my worth and to see who I am? And oftentimes, really that manifests that protest behavior in the overtexting. Okay, well, I didn't hear from them. Let me text them more. Let me see if everything's okay. Let me just let them know. I just need them to tell me everything's fine and we'll be okay. Maybe I could gauge this. Maybe I can try to chameleon. Maybe or you start to ask yourself like, fuck, did I do something wrong? Like you immediately go there, because when we go right to that point, that shows us a core belief. That shows us that something is coming up of, oh, if somebody pulls away from me and I automatically go, what did I do wrong? Then where did I learn along the way that when people act differently, it's my fault? That could be childhood. That could be learned belief along the way. And then protest behavior, you know, what a lot of people do, especially with that high anxiety, is the pendulum was swinging the other way. And all of a sudden we're pretending like, I don't care, whatever. That's why I hate them. Match their energy. I'm good. I don't need to be vulnerable. I don't need to share how I feel. They just need to figure it out. And that is really just a protective mechanism, because being vulnerable means that you could be rejected, and being rejected could be a really deep core wound because of the story that you've associated with it. Or what a lot of people will try to do too is use jealousy to get a response, which is why I fucking hate the no contact to get your avoidant back. It's like, so what you're doing is you're manipulating. You're doing something to get a specific response to somebody else. And what do you think, pray tell, is going to happen after you get that response? What do you think is going to happen after this person that gets distance from you then comes back? Do you think that all of a sudden now they're going to say, oh yeah, all of the stuff that we had before is totally fine. I just needed that one moment of space. It's going to happen again because that's a pattern. And some examples that could look like protest behavior are like, I used to do this all the fucking time. I would post a hot photo to make somebody jealous, and I would want to see like, how quickly are they watching it? Are they sliding into my DMs? I was so disconnected from myself. I wanted to do anything to say, no, you're going to choose me. Whereas what's the mature fucking thing to do? Now I'll regulate. You stay present and you let their actions actually reveal their fucking capacity. Oh man, I used to do this all the goddamn time. I would just spiral whenever, like I'll never forget the famous thing that I would say in all those times, it's like, I knew it. I knew it. My gut knew something was off. And it's like, no, what it was this felt familiar. The reason that I knew it was a self-fulfilling prophecy. It was familiarity. You're treating me like my father did. You're ignoring me, or you're hot and cold, or you're inconsistent. And for a long time, I would try even harder. I would try to be the cool girl, or I would send these long fucking dissertations and the paragraphs. And please, I would call, I would text, I would do anything because my body was screaming for someone to tell me it's going to be okay. And at the end of the day, that was my job. No one is going to do that for me. No one's going to come and save you. And if somebody's pulling away, here are some things that I want you to do. Because trying to match their energy and trying to do this and trying to play investigator and trying to ask a million why questions is just going to keep you on a fucking loop. And then you're in your pattern and then you're just repeating the same toxic bullshit behavior. So the first thing that I want you guys to try that is a literal game changer and changed everything for me was I want you to pause and regulate before you respond. The pause is one of the hardest things to do because what happens is in that space, we fill in the blanks. In the space of, I haven't heard from them, they didn't answer me, something like that. Then all of a sudden we go from, I didn't get a text from them to, I knew something was wrong. Oh my God, there's something wrong with me. We start to go into what's going to happen and we start to like fucking catastrophize and they're going to leave me. Sometimes you might not even know this person. You may have only had a couple of dates and it's like, if someone's going to be inconsistent with me, I need to start to see if this works for me. And that's what the pause does. So when we pause and we start to regulate, you feel the feeling, but you don't follow the impulse. So maybe that looks like, whoa, this is really overwhelming, but that doesn't mean I need to text them to make this go away. It's, whoa, I can sit in this. I could breathe. I could go for a walk. I could splash my face with cold water. I could call a friend. What we're doing is we're looking to give your body what it's looking for before you act. So if I need a little bit of safety, if I need to know I'm going to be okay, then me asking this fucking person that I've been dating or this person I know or I'm in a relationship with to validate and to give me the reassurance means I'm consistently outsourcing my validation. When I outsource that validation, when you do something that feels like it goes against the grains, when it's not actually you, it is a constant, endless need and pit of needs. How many times you get the reassurance and you're like, I still feel anxious or I still feel shitty, or because that's not just going to make it all go away. And then the second tool I have here is called the reality check and boundary. So I want you to start to ask yourself, are they actually pulling away or are you projecting an abandonment? I just had this with one of my friends. He was dating this guy and the guy, he didn't text him for one day. And the guy, when he texted him, he's like, hey, how you doing? And the guy was like, oh, I thought you were mad at me. And my friend's like, what are you talking about? I thought I was mad at you. And he was like, well, you didn't text me yesterday. You were pulling away from me. And my friend's like, what are you talking about? I was fucking working all day. He was like, I didn't talk to anybody. And he was like, I don't appreciate the stories and the narratives. He's like, because now I have to reassure you of something. He's like, we've had one date. I don't know you. And the pinch doesn't match the ouch. Because if they are pulling away, you don't need to fill that space. You can let it breathe. It's okay to let people also fumble you. It's okay for you to be the one that they fucking lose. Why does it always have to be that they're the one that got away? And the third tool that I want you guys to think is I want you to choose self-respect over any fucking performance, because if they're meant for you, then they will not disappear when you stop chasing. If they're really meant for you, then this person is not. Really stop and ask yourself, do I want a partner that I have to convince to stay? Do I want to date somebody that at any time something gets hard, they're up and running? Do I want to date somebody that it always feels like an uphill battle to have my needs met? Do I want to date somebody that is inconsistent? And that's where we have to look and start to even challenge. Is this person pulling away, or did they maybe just have a day where they didn't want to talk? Because you can also say like, hey, I noticed a shift in our dynamic. Like, am I picking up on that correctly? But we have to first regulate, come home to ourselves before we could go to somebody else and start asking them what's going on, what's happening, when it's like, am I just trying to seek safety? And that's okay if you are, but that starts with us. It's not an external, the outside world isn't going to give you safety. Trust me, I learned that the hard way. But that you can give to yourself, because you know what the safety is? It's not that they're going to stick around. It's not that they're never going to leave you. It's that no matter what, you're going to be okay. That no matter what happens, you have your fucking back. That no matter what happens, you will take care of yourself. And that even if they pull away, it doesn't need to mean anything about your fucking self-worth. And guys, if you are finding yourself stuck in these cycles of chasing or trying to fix the disconnection, this is exactly the stuff I walk you through step by step in my course, which is the foundation course. It's how to hold your center no matter how someone else is showing up. All that will be linked down, or sabrinazohar.com. But guys, someone pulling away is information. It's not an emergency. And if you slow it down, you feel the discomfort, and you choose self-respect over the reaction, you will stop chasing people who need to be chased in the fucking first place. And guys, if this hit, check out the podcast episode I linked below, which is all of them. It dives even deeper into how protest behavior keeps us in a cycle of anxious attachment. And if you want to learn how to shift this at its root, take a look at the course, because you're not too much, baby. You've just been taught to panic instead of fucking pause.